All right. Welcome and thank you for joining us for this very special presentation today. This is the third in our week-long series of presentations featuring some of Calgary's leading providers of information, products, and services for 55+ lifestyle. We hope through these presentations to provide you with ways to enhance your health, stay active, and live your best life. As we gather here today, it's vital we also remember the peoples who've gathered here for millennia. This is the Treaty 7 land of the Indigenous peoples of Southern Alberta, the Blackfoot Nations of Siksika, Piikani, Kainai, the Tsuut'ina First Nation, the Stoney Nakoda Nations of Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wellesley, and the historic home of the Northwest Métis and Métis Nations of Alberta Region 3. It is with the goal of reconciliation that we acknowledge the land on which we gather, and we thank the elders of these nations for their timeless contributions to this land. And today we feature Calgary Meals on Wheels, and we're pleased to welcome Stephanie Ralph. Stephanie is the Philanthropy and Communications Manager at Calgary Meals on Wheels. She has over 10 years experience in fundraising, marketing, communications, and nonprofit work, 6 of which have been in her current role. Like Meals on Wheels, Stephanie believes everyone deserves to be well fed. She appreciates the value that nutrition can play in all of our lives and is always happy to promote Meals on Wheels as a great option. Outside of her work with Meals on Wheels, Stephanie is a musician, triathlete, and currently is training to be a yoga instructor. Although relocated from the East Coast, she's enjoying life on the west side of the country with her husband and dogs. Stephanie, this is a great time for people to be able to access a service like Meals on Wheels with being in isolation and not being able to shop for groceries. Tell us how Calgarians can get started with your program.
No problem. Is it okay if I share my screen here now?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's do that. Hopefully, are you guys seeing?
Yes, looks good.
Okay, great. One moment. Okay, so I'm actually, let me see if I can move this over. Okay, no, so my PowerPoint is actually on a second screen. 1 second, I'm gonna pull that closer.
So that meal looks good.
Yeah, so this is our lasagna. Yeah, so Calgary Meals on Wheels, I mean, we have been around since 1965. We actually just celebrated our 55th anniversary on Sunday.
Wow.
And yeah, and so, you know, we've been in the community for such a long time, and we're very proud of that. But one of the challenges that comes with that is just how diverse our service has become over those years, and just informing the community of that information. So, I mean, we are definitely a great service to access during this time, of course, because we bring the meals right to your door and they're ready. All you have to do is heat them up. So let's get started. So Calgary Meals on Wheels, like I said, 1965. So what we say is when you've got a lot on your plate, let us do the cooking. So we did this campaign actually with this new slogan in 2019 to really drive home that we are available for many, many challenges. And so we'll get into that through the presentation. And of course, that always includes our 55+ clients and those interested in our service there, but certainly for many other reasons as well. So at the beginning, I love this photo. So this, of course, is an archive photo that we've had for quite some time. This lady's a volunteer, and you can see that our meals went out in a very different way then. Originally, we had started in a church basement. We were serving about 8 clients, and volunteers would come make the meals and then deliver them hot to those clients. So, you know, it's a vast difference in terms of how many people we serve and where we are now, which we'll get to. But this certainly, I think, for me, even though, I mean, it's certainly before my time and my time at Meals on Wheels, I just absolutely love how authentic this is about, you know, how we got started in the community. So our current home, well, oops, didn't mean to do that. So our current home, we are in the southeast of the city, and we have a full production facility. We moved into this building in 2015, 13. And we built the building. So we did a big capital campaign to ensure that we had a facility with the goal that it would last us for approximately 30 years. So we would be able to absorb the growth of our programs and the growth of our city within this facility. So the heart of the facility is definitely the production area. It's about 15,000 square feet in total of the building. And it's where all the magic really happens and all the meals are made. And we have about 16 to 18 staff in that area at any given time. During the pandemic, we actually have had more, and we've had second shifts of staff to keep up with demand, and also for the cohorting aspect of everything as well. So yeah, it's been a challenge for us operationally in terms of the pandemic, but as always, we've never missed a scheduled day delivery, and these guys downstairs keep making the miracles happen out of our kitchen. So of course, we're serving Calgarians. We are Calgary Meals on Wheels. So primarily we're in the city of Calgary. Our meals do go beyond the city of Calgary in terms of certain like Wheatland, Chestermere, Strathmore. We have a partnership with the local family community support services, and they have a list of people that utilize our meals and actually come in and pick up in bulk and deliver those meals through their own volunteers in their own communities. So our meals are going a little bit beyond Calgary, but for the most part, we're certainly within the city of Calgary. And that's the only area in which we can deliver. And that's certainly due to the logistics of, keeping the food safe during delivery time and such things. So we deliver the comfort of healthy, nutritious meals. When people ask me what we do here at Calgary Meals on Wheels, I say we make meals, we deliver meals. And, that's the core of our service that hasn't changed over all those years. That's what we've been doing from the beginning, and that's what we're going to continue to do. And we're happy to do that. We love having the connection with our community. I remember a little personal note, when I interviewed here, and my husband was actually working away at the time. And so once we got to chatting on the phone in the evening, he said, well, how did it go? Because we just moved here from the East Coast, and I had a couple of interviews, and I said to him, well, they have to hire me because it's food and it's for seniors. And it's kind of the two areas that I really love. Like, I've always had an appreciation and love for, people who have built our communities and have really been the core of our communities and have made it the community that I get to live in today. And then, of course, who doesn't love food? It's a great thing for comfort, and it's a great thing to share with family and friends, and a great way to make connections. So yeah, they hired me, and I have since told my boss that if she hadn't, I would have called her bluff and told her she had to. So we also do school programming. So this is one of the things that a lot of people don't know about. And just to touch on it with you guys a little bit, we serve 40 plus schools in Calgary. During the pandemic, of course, there were no schools open. And so we actually worked with Calgary Food Bank, and we resumed what they call their WHAM, Weekends and More program. And we were providing groceries through depots throughout the city. So at South Centre Mall and Genesis Centre and things like that. So we adapted quickly, and we were able to continue to get food to those families. But right now we're back in school and back into the full swing of that. So in total, I think we're serving about 6,000 students as well. So when we look at our service as a whole and our operations and things like that, and we look at how many meals we produce a year, they're all considered within those numbers. So just to touch on our group meals. So I believe the Kerby Center has accessed this before. I know United Way has used this. Some schools actually use the group meals as well. So these are just group size portions. It's for community groups, nonprofits, regional partners, kind of people who are gathering, which is not happening a lot right now, but who would be gathering and wanted an affordable option for meals. And we can deliver these hot or cold. So we do have a gal downstairs who handles all those orders. So if for any time in the future, that's something of interest, we are definitely here for that as well. So this is where we'll talk a little bit more about what those challenges look like. So in the beginning, I mentioned we had started this campaign. When you've got a lot on your plate, let us do the cooking. And what we really wanted to get across to Calgarians was, we don't presume to know what your challenge is, and we care, and we're here to provide nutritional meals. So we just want to make sure, basically, whatever your challenge is, I mean, whether that is financial, whether it's mobility, it could be loss of a loved one, it could be like this lady, welcoming new babies into the family, and these are all life challenges that we have to consider. And, oftentimes in our lives, we find that these challenges can prevent us from eating nutritionally. And of course, we all know how important nutrition is to our health and our well-being. And if we don't have that proper nutrition, we can certainly see these situations get worse and get more stressful for ourselves. So what we want to make sure is that regardless of your challenge, we want to make sure you don't have to do it on an empty stomach. So our Chef's Daily Special. So this is certainly one of the programs that is, really how we originated. It's kind of a source of our original startings back in 1965. And, then we used to deliver hot meals, and it was very different. When we moved into this facility, we developed what is called a cook chill system. So technically, all of our Chef's Daily Special meals are delivered chilled, not frozen, but chilled. And that allows our clients to keep them in the fridge. They may want to wait an hour or so before they eat them. They can heat them up in a few various ways. So delivery for this program is between around 10:30 or 10:45 to 1 p.m. And it's all volunteers that deliver. So these people, our volunteers, are incredible. They are understanding and definitely non-judgmental of people's situations, and they care. They truly care. We have volunteers, if a client for some reason has been on their route for like a year and then all of a sudden goes off their route, our volunteers are wondering like if they're okay, everything's okay. And of course, with privacy, we can't share that information, but we do know that they care. We've had volunteers with us for 50 years. And amazingly, through the pandemic, we have, they have stayed with us. And they're still continuing to deliver. And just to touch on that, so our delivery, it has changed a little bit because of the pandemic and because of the challenges that come along with that. So initially, we had no contact delivery. We were, knocking or ringing the bell, whatever the instructions are. And we were leaving the meal at the doorstep. Our clients often would put a cooler out that we could put the meal in as well. And so that was challenging for our clients and our volunteers because they like that interaction. They want to have that little touch base often. And so in October, we reinstated still a non-contact delivery, social distance delivery, but our volunteers now are waiting to ensure that they've made contact with the person in the house. So, whether it's a hello through the door or a wave through a window, or they can get the phone numbers provided, they will call in just to make sure that they know the meal is there and just to make sure that everything's okay. Because as we all know right now, it's good to check in with our friends, families, and neighbors and just make sure everybody's okay, more now so than ever. And if you do have any questions around that, I'm happy to answer some of those at the end as well. So you can be eligible for a cost reduction. And so what that means is, the cost of our service varies. So if that's not a concern for you, if financial is not one of the reasons you're coming to Calgary Meals on Wheels, that's not a problem. We're totally happy to serve you, and you can pay, the full price for the 2 meals delivered to your door. Or if financial is something that is a concern for you and is one of the reasons why you're not eating properly, then let us know. And we're happy to gather just some information from you around that. And we'll give you a cost as per your income that we determine on a scale. So everybody is guided by the same scale. And then that way, you're getting your meals at a cost that's affordable to you. So please don't let financial reasons not be the reason you're eating well, because we can definitely help you out there. And again, give us a call, and that's kind of more details you would go through with one of the ladies on our client service department, and she would be able to help you through that process and talk to you a little more about it if you had some questions. Special diet accommodations. So one of the great things that Meals on Wheels does, I think above a lot of the other services, is the diet accommodation. So we do have a registered dietitian on staff, and she helps guide, along with our production manager, they guide the menu and the diet requirements. So we have, all of our meals are heart healthy, low in sodium, diabetic friendly, and that goes for pretty well everything I believe that's on our menu. And then there's also some other, if you're allergic to seafood or different allergies, we can accommodate that. And there's a few other accommodations we can make that we have gluten safe, and we're actually working towards our certification to be a gluten-free safe facility. And we have some vegetarian options on our menus and things like that. So again, if you are interested in the service, that's information that you can gather at the phone call that you have with the lady at the desk. And of course, it's flexible. So you don't have to have Meals on Wheels every day. You can have, so the minimum, I believe, is 3 days a week for 2 weeks. So Meals on Wheels can be temporary. So, for example, I walk out of here today, which hopefully doesn't happen, and I slip and fall, and I'm not able to grocery shop for the next couple of weeks. I can order Meals on Wheels. And then when I no longer need the service, it's not a problem. It's just a phone call or an email to say, I don't need the service beyond this date. And so it's quite simple. And you don't have to have it every day. This delivery, you can have anywhere from 3 to 7 days a week. And what we do is, because we only deliver Monday through Friday, is on Friday, if you did opt in for the weekend meals, then you get your weekend meals delivered on Friday. So on Friday, you get Friday, Saturday, Sunday meals, and then we'd be back again on Monday if that was your choice for your delivery day. So there is a lot of flexibility and choice there in terms of that. The one thing about the Chef's Daily Special is it's the Chef's Daily Special. It's what our chef has prepared for that day. So while we can do some diet modifications, the menu is a set menu, and it, of course, it varies. It's a 3-week menu. So I don't know about you guys, but I don't get 3 weeks of variety and choice in my home. Usually it involves lots of leftovers, but it's a 3-week rotational menu. So diet modifications can adjust that slightly, but you're getting a variety of foods throughout that 3 weeks, but you are getting served what's for that day. So just something to keep in mind there. So our My Choice menu. So we've always had a menu for years. I shouldn't say always, but long before I have been here, and I've been here, 6 years. So we've always had a frozen line of meals, and a lot of people had used it to supplement the Chef's Daily Special. So the daily deliveries, people use it to supplement if they want a little extra, or if they only wanted, the daily deliveries 3 days a week, they would supplement with some of our frozen meals. Well, in 2019, we realized this is something a lot of people are asking about and they want, and there's lots of advantages to this option for our clients. And so we really highlighted it and made it a more focused part of our service. And as a result, we have about 70 items on this menu right now. And they're all made here in our facility, just like all the other food is made here in our facility. So there's individual family-sized entrees, we have baked goods, we have soups. And the great thing about this is you can order these online. So you go to mealsonwheels.com, and this is all available to be ordered online. And it can be delivered within Calgary city limits within 2 business days of your order if you place your order before 12 noon. So, it's pretty quick for delivery, and they're just nice to have in the freezer even if you are in our other program, or, so you're in a position where, sometimes cooking can be difficult for you, or regardless of why, it's just great to have as a great backup so that you never have to worry about going without that meal. So the convenience of ordering, as I mentioned, is online. You can call in and place your order as well. And, we always have someone on the phone here willing to talk to our clients or potential clients. And, we've seen a big growth in this program in the last several months. In the first, it was May when we introduced it in 2019, and we get a couple of orders a day. Now we get anywhere probably from 10 to 15 orders a day on this online menu. And we're nearing doing 2,000 orders since May 2019. So it's become quite popular. The food is great. It heats up easy. There's instructions on how to heat it up as well. And again, there's always someone to call here if you did have any questions as you're going along. Just keeping an eye on the time here. Colleen, can you remind me how long I have? How one?
We have some flexibility. We've scheduled to 1:45, but we have some flexibility there.
Okay, it's no problem. I think we'll be fine. Okay. So we always like to say we provide much more than a meal. Honestly, guys, I have, and not to be, you know, I've never worked in a place where so many people like love what they do. And it's what keeps me coming back here year after year and staying here year after year. I'm known by my family and friends to love change. And the only thing really that hasn't changed in my life in the last 6 years is the fact that I'm still in Calgary and at Calgary Meals on Wheels because I love this city and I love Meals on Wheels and what we do. So I think that shines through with our service, to be quite honest. It trickles down to from, you know, the leadership here right down to all the staff into our volunteers. And it's really heartwarming. So our goal is truly, we want people to feel independent. We want to empower them to think, you know, not, oh, I need to have Meals on Wheels. Think about it as it's available to me and I'm choosing to do this because I want to support my own nutrition. And again, it doesn't matter what that reason is. And we're not concerned about looking into those reasons. We truly just want to support your nutritional needs. And we want to connect with you. There's so many people in this community, especially now, as Colleen mentioned in the beginning, that, you know, are isolated for many reasons. One of the gentlemen that we interviewed for the holiday campaign, which we usually do for our fundraising every year, you know, he was going through treatments for cancer, and, you know, the pandemic hits, and him and his wife are no longer feeling safe, of course, to go to the grocery store because he has a very compromised immune system. And he's so grateful that we were able to deliver these prepared meals right to his door. So, and safely. So it totally took a weight of stress off him, especially during this time. And we've had many, of course, people on our service with different health conditions, you know, permanent health conditions and temporary health conditions. So we just want to be able to provide you that. And I mean, if you are a daily client of ours or are on that kind of the daily delivery service, oftentimes you'll get flowers with your delivery. We have partnerships where, you know, there can be different holiday opportunities for gifts and things like that. So we really try to do our best to really show you that it's really, the meal's important, but it's really also about just connecting with you and making you feel like you're a part of the community and that you're part of our Meals on Wheels family. So why Calgary Meals on Wheels? Well, I mean, there's a lot of different reasons, but certainly because it's nutritious. I know that it's easy, or it could be easy, to go to your local grocery store and to get some frozen meals. And I have myself been guilty of that. But to be honest, you know, they often have a high sodium content and different things like that. So if you compare the nutritional value, our meals follow Canada's Food Guide, all of the recommendations that they have there. And we do our best to, like I said, keep our menu varied and provide you with what's required, what your body needs within that meal. With that said, we do have a few options for meals. So we have our regular size meals. There's also a large option for all the big eaters out there who may feel like they need a little extra. And as I said, you can have deliveries frequently or infrequently, especially on our frozen meals. And you can kind of set your own schedule that way. So you know better than we do what your body requires and how you like to schedule your eating. So, you know, we hope to be able to accommodate that within one of our 2 programs for you. So the flexibility, of course, you can have it how many days a week you like, 3 to 7 on the daily deliveries or frozens. You know, a lot of people just order enough for a couple weeks and then There's no delivery charge. So don't worry about that. There's no delivery charge. You can order like every few days if you wanted to on our frozen. Actually, right now we're asking people to kind of limit their orders down to about 20 entrees, just because there is such a high demand on our service that, you know, it's easier for us to maintain an inventory that way. So there's, again, no delivery fee. So there's no extra charge to you there. And affordability. So if you're on our Chef's Daily Special, you can, like I said, ask us to evaluate you for a reduction in cost, and we're totally happy to do that. And the My Choice menu, every entree on there is $6. And then there's baked goods, there's soups, I believe, that are $4.25. And then the family size pans, of course, they're big, huge pans of meals. So they vary depending on what's in them. And right now we have a special promotion on, thanks to some funders, that's COVID related, where our entrees, our individual size entrees that are normally $6, they're currently on for $3. So it's a great opportunity if you did want to just order a few and try them and see what you think. And reliable. So we have never missed a scheduled day of delivery. I can tell you that I have never been in this building when a client of ours has not gotten their meal that day. I'm not going to say that we don't make mistakes. We rely on our staff to be vigilant, and we rely on our volunteers as well. But it can, you know, mistakes can happen, but we resolve those mistakes before we go home that day. So we contact the client. We, you know, let them know we'll just make a late delivery, and someone will leave the building and specifically go out and deliver to that client at that moment. So you can, or, I mean, you can always opt to say, you know, I'm okay for today, just give me a credit back on that meal. So we're willing to work with you when mistakes do happen, but we have never missed a day of delivery, scheduled delivery. We have been open throughout the entire pandemic. We served Calgary throughout the flood. So I think we've definitely proven that over the last 60 or 55 years that we are a reliable service that you can come to count on. So learn more. So I just want to chat about a couple of things now. I just wanted this slide here on the end. So of course, if you want to learn more, you can go to mealsonwheels.com. You can give us a call at 243-2834. And as I said, our My Choice menu is online and available 24 hours a day. And it's just, even if you just want to go browse and see what kind of things are on our menus, it gives you an idea of what to expect. And so just to speak a little bit about Calgary Meals on Wheels, and, you know, we talked about our intention and our purpose and everything like that. And just to speak to our place, you know, in the community, I think that Calgary Meals on Wheels holds a very unique place in our community, because we deliver prepared meals, and certainly the services that have come out that are delivering prepared meals in the last several years, I'm sure most of us are aware, there's a lot of them, and home delivery of meals has become certainly a bigger market and everything like that. But I think Calgary Meals on Wheels is unique. Shouldn't say I think, I know Calgary Meals on Wheels is unique. One of the reasons is we can offer that reduced cost. And oftentimes, you know, we do have a lot of our clients who take us up on that kind of subsidy for the meals, and it's very appreciated. And I know that without that subsidy, a lot of those people would not be accessing such nutrition. And then also because of our volunteers, we have over 600 volunteers that work with us throughout the year. They donate all of their time and energy, and as I said, they truly care. The delivery arrives, and you know, if a lot of volunteers have the same routes, and when they go on holidays, you'll get the message that says, you know, okay, someone can cover my route, but when I come back, I want the same route. And that's because they want to see the same people. They want to see the same faces. I went out to deliver one day. We had quite a snowy day, and one of our regular volunteers had an issue with their vehicle. So a call was put out to the staff, and I volunteered to go out that day. And so I was going, you know, it was a little slower going with all the snow. And then I get to an apartment building, and I get up to the door, and I knock on the door, and this lady answers, and she opened it, and she looked so shocked. She said, "Well, you're not him." And I said, "Oh, no, I'm so sorry. Your regular volunteer had vehicle issues today, and I work at Meals on Wheels, and I'm here to deliver your meal today." And as appreciative as she was of the meal, I could tell she was disappointed that she was not going to get that daily interaction that she expected with her regular volunteers. So she was lovely and very kind, but I walked away, kind of, I giggled a little, and then I said, "You know what? That's just the sweetest thing." And I made sure to send a note to that volunteer because he clearly means a lot to that client. So I really think that a lot of what we do comes down to those interactions. It comes down to the flexibility and the things that we can offer our clients outside of, sort of a for-profit business that, they're for profit. They're doing the service for a different reason. And we've been here since 1965, doing it, for just to be here with our community. So I just wanted to speak to that a little bit at the end. So I'm ahead of time. I probably spoke too fast, but I'm happy to answer questions.
Oh, it was great, great, very informative. And it sounds like your volunteers are doing a great job by helping to alleviate that social isolation and building some meaningful relationships with people. And that's as important as feeding them. So we've got a few questions coming in, but one of the things that, I had no idea that you had the school program. So that was great to learn, and quite surprised at how affordable the program would be. I know if I go to the grocery store, I come out of there having paid a whole lot more than $6 a meal. And, when with this period of self-isolation, to bring in the boxed groceries is a little costly, or to bring, to order online. There's some people have difficulty trying to maneuver their way through online to order their groceries from a grocery store. So, having an opportunity to be able to have your meals prepared and delivered to you, I think is a great value. So we have a question here. From Maureen, and welcome, Maureen. Thank you for joining us again. We've arranged for Meals on Wheels for my widowed father, who was somewhat disabled in the late 70s. So a very belated thank you. Unfortunately, when we found he was forgetting to eat those meals, we had to move him into an assisted living facility. My questions are, what kind of dishes do you use, and are they returned by the client to be reused? Also, do you have special occasion meals?
Okay, great questions. Well, that's heartwarming. Thank you for sharing that story. Yes, and again, these are the stories that we hear often here at Calgary Meals on Wheels. And, it's always sad to hear, that someone has had to go into an assisted living, but it's clearly, what's best for them at the time. And we're happy to help until they get to that, if that's the stage of their life they're in, we're happy to help until they get to that point. So thanks for sharing that. So we do have holiday meals. So we do turkey at Christmas. What'll happen at Christmas time? So there is turkey, I guess I should start. There's roast turkey on our menu all the time on the frozen menu. And then at Christmas time, during that week of the Christmas meals that we deliver, because we do take a couple extra days off over Christmas, of course. So we usually end up delivering about 5 days of meals. There will be a turkey Christmas meal in there. We often try to see if we can get a local baker or someone to donate some cookies. And if they don't, oftentimes we'll special order them in. And if there's no diet restrictions against what's in them, then the clients will also get that kind of special little holiday treat as well. And sorry, Colleen, can you remind me what the first part of the question was?
Oh, I'm sorry. I've just closed it out there.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Let me see if I can bring my brain back to it. It was holiday meals and, packaging. So the packaging that we use is recyclable packaging. It is not returnable. And certainly I think with the things that are happening right now today, I don't even know if I don't think coffee shops are allowing returnable mugs at this point. So that has obviously changed environmentally what we can do, but our packaging is recyclable.
So going back to the holiday meals, one of the things that, one of the presentations that we're going to be doing next month is, to help people that are going to be alone for the holidays. So I think it would be something that people might be interested to know, that they can order a holiday meal and not have to worry about the fuss. And
yeah, absolutely. And like I said, the turkey's is pretty, it's actually, I believe it's always one of the top ones that are selling on our My Choice menu online. Mm-hmm. And if they're a daily client, then they would get the holiday meal. Again, that's if there's no dietary restrictions that have been stated on behalf of the client or the family.
Will those holiday meals be delivered, say for example, Christmas Eve or Christmas Day? How are you handling that?
It honestly depends on the schedule, the holiday schedule. So this year, I believe we're actually closed Christmas Eve. So they would be delivered. The last day of delivery this year, I believe, is the 23rd. And then delivery would resume again on Monday on the 28th.
So something that they can get in advance, and then they could just warm it up for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. The holidays can be hard, right? And we realize that. And so, yeah, we try to do special things for our clients. We do have a partnership with Senior Secret Service. Okay. And I believe their mandate is that it has to be 65 plus, but that we can nominate clients and we can have Christmas presents delivered. So like, I think last year there was over 220 presents that went out to our clients through that program, which is quite lovely. Our volunteers will usually nominate, and they put in some fun things, and they also put in some practical things normally. And I know that's a program that's supported by people in the community, where they adopt someone for the Christmas season and provide them with those presents through us. So.
Right. Kerby Center has a partnership with Secret Santa as well, or Secret Service as well. So, we'll get a call out and have truckloads of packages delivered, and then volunteers deliver those. So I'm understanding what you're referring to. It's always a really rewarding experience. So, and referring back to your workplace, and very much like Kerby Center, it's the people and the work that we do that keeps us in our position. So I appreciate the fact that you've got a great workplace there, and that you're doing wonderful things for the community. Got another question come in here. Okay. What difference has COVID made to your food preparation protocols? It's an interesting question.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we had AHS come in and evaluate that for us. And it comes down to wearing the proper PPE. So all of our staff they always wear hairnets and particular clothing and stuff in our production areas. But now, of course, they have to wear face masks, and typically a lot of people will wear gloves as well. So, we've always, I guess, had to be, it's a food preparation area, so it has always had to be maintained in a certain procedure. But with COVID, I think the biggest change, honestly, is masks. And then the other change was the cohorting. So I'm going to try to remember the dates properly now. From probably April till the end of July, we had a partial shift, I'll call it, of second people. Right now, we have one shift of 16 people that produce all these meals. And I guess I should mention that in 2019, we made nearly 800,000 meals. So so we're producing high volume of meals every day. And like I said, that you take into account the individual clients, the families, the schools, the group partnerships, and it all starts to add up in a hurry. So what we did during those months was we had a partial shift. I think there was about 3 or 4 people who would come in. Our typical shift runs from 6 to 2. and they would come in at 2 o'clock, and they would just continue basically to make the frozen meals, because they were the ones that were a lot, especially in high demand, because some of these people, it was temporary. They hoped, right? It was temporary. So they were getting on a temporary basis. And then we've seen a little reduction in that. And now we're starting to see it pick up again. So I believe next week we're starting that process again. So, I mean, COVID has challenged pretty much every operational procedure we have, in that, you know, we produce meals and we deliver them to people for community connection, right? For nutrition and community connection. So, you know, I mentioned how it changed our delivery procedures. And I mean, and even internally for our staff, we would typically, most of us, you know, would eat together as a group and enjoy a meal together. Because again, we just believe that's important. But unfortunately, that's not something that we can do right now. So we're all making changes and adjustments, but we're doing, in terms of the procedures and protocols, we're following AHS. They have, like I said, come to our facility. They have evaluated it for us. They've made suggestions, and we're following those.
Mm-hmm. Everything that we do, we're learning to pivot here and then pivot again. If you'd like to stop your screen share, then we'll see you full.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. We'll see you full screen. There you go. A couple of quick things here. Wendy has said, very good presentation. Learned a few things, and the food looks very good. Thanks, Stephanie. I agree with you, Wendy. I haven't had lunch, so some of that.
That'll happen. The food is really good. You know, and I think that's a lot of times the surprise that comes from people is Meals on Wheels. I say to people, you know about Meals on Wheels, but you don't know about Calgary Meals on Wheels, maybe, right? Because Meals on Wheels exists worldwide. You know, in the United States, it's a big umbrella, and each, you know, state has its kind of own Meals on Wheels. In Canada, we all operate independently. Now, we talked to Edmonton Meals on Wheels. We're currently in a partnership with them, helping with a program called Going Home, which actually provides free meals to individuals who are coming out of the hospital, and that's through a referral with our partners in AHS. And then, you know, we talk about how we do our operations. We've talked to Red Deer in different places, and so we chat. But we are able to design our programs for what our own community needs are, and I think that's really great. So, you know, that's why I typically say, you know, a lot of people don't realize we produce our food here. And when they look at, oh, you guys have 50 staff at Meals on Wheels, what are you all doing over there? Well, you know, 16 to 18 of those people are making food, so on a daily basis. And as I mentioned, quite a lot of it. And so, but the food is really great. And it is oftentimes, when I look at some of the information that comes in, like from month to month, just the feedback from our clients, or we do our annual surveys. So we do feedback opportunities throughout the year. And of course, you can call anytime with that as well. I often see, you know, I was really surprised. The food is really great. So yeah, our production team, and like I said, our dietitian, they work really hard to try and create a great menu, and meals that hopefully, you know, the majority of the population will enjoy.
And God bless the volunteers. You know, we have such an amazing volunteer force here in Calgary. Yeah. And so it's wonderful work that they're doing to look after your clients. Vivian has said, she has a question for you, that it was mentioned that there was no delivery charge, but on the web it says $10 flat rate. Is there, what is the?
So the $10 flat rate is only for the group meals. So they're like the big meals. So if, for example, if Kerby Center decided to order from Calgary Meals on Wheels because you were having a staffing event, then there would be a $10 charge for those ones. But for individual clients and like the daily deliveries and our schools and stuff, there's no delivery charge associated.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And Vi, thanks. I knew so little about Meals on Wheels. I'm very inspired about this information. Thanks so much to Colleen and Stephanie for all you do. That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Vi.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us again. We appreciate seeing you at our presentation. So, I don't know unless anyone has any further questions for Stephanie. Stephanie, it was great information. I echo Vi. I learned a lot more than you know. I kind of harken back to that original picture, you know, the vintage picture. Those were the days that I remembered Meals on Wheels starting and the volunteers delivering, you know, and at that point, you know, thought that it was for people that were kind of infirm or you know, at home, but now realizing that the opportunities are there for anyone, and you know, that I could place an order and have meals delivered, which sounds fabulous.
Right, I know, and we just to top on that, like we get questions all the time. Well, you know, you guys fundraise and you're a charity, and so you're just, you know, you're going to let anybody order, and we do get questions about that. But again, it comes back to you. Colleen, like if you decide to order, I don't know what the challenges you may be having in your life. You could be ordering because you're a caretaker. And oftentimes that happens, right? It's their family member may be getting the meals, but the caretaker also needs to ensure that they're well taken care of, or they can't take care of their loved one. So it kind of just opens up people's minds to be, you know, more sensitive to the situations, individual situations people come in.
Well, and sometimes it's a method of being able to help a family member help someone else.
Yeah.
You know, where if they're seeing them declining and they're seeing they're not buying groceries or cooking for themselves, then a perfect gift idea, you know, to send them meals and help them out that way. So
yeah, especially if you live from away, it can be tricky when you live from away. So
absolutely. Well, we really appreciate you joining us today and your information. And I know that you've been a strong supporter of Kerby Center and some of our presentations in the past. So I look forward to working with you again in the future.